Hello, everybody. Welcome back again to another Cooking with Denoy episode. And for today, we're actually going to try something different. Yeah. This is a dish that I'm just making up right now as we go along. I'm going to call this East meets West spaghetti. Because we're going to be cooking up the spaghetti here. I think we bought, I don't know if it's from Walmart or Dollar Tree, but I'm going to be using that, it says made with 100% durum wheat. I'm going to be using this spaghetti, and instead of using a big pot, I'm using a frying pan, and I'm just heating up some water now. We're going to put the spaghetti in there and let it boil, and I'll cover it up, and then maybe drain if it has too much water, which I'm sure it does. Once I drain that out, I'm going to add the meat sauce, which is the Prego meat sauce right here. I'm having a hard time focusing here. As well as the leftover chicken, the rotisserie chicken. And we're also going to toss in what's left of the cucumbers. And I think I might have a couple tomatoes, little baby tomatoes that I'll throw in there. And that's going to be my weird pseudo spaghetti. Not cooking it in a traditional sense with a pot and stuff. But I got a little surprise for you guys at the end. While the water was boiling, I went ahead and ripped off the meat there from the rotisserie chicken and made a big pile here of meat. And we're now just going to take the spaghetti and put it in here. Probably going to have to break it in half or something, because it might be too long, and let it boil. I've added the spaghetti, and you can see it is boiling up right now. You can stir it a little bit, but I think to help it cook a little bit faster, I'm actually going to put the lid on it. Kind of let it cook kind of a little bit under pressure. And let it hold the heat and boil up really fast. And we'll see how much of the water evaporates. We're going to drain most of the water, add the Prego sauce right here, the Prego sauce. And then the frozen veggies, what I have left of it. And the meat. I haven't decided if I'm going to put in the tomatoes, but I think I will. I'm going to go ahead and get the little tomatoes out and prepare those. Alright, it's steaming up pretty well. And you can see I have my little tomatoes here. Little miniature tomatoes. And we're just going to toss in there. I'm not even going to bother cutting them. And we're going to put all this stuff in there in a minute. But I am letting this cook up a little bit because I want to drain or have most of the water evaporate. And we'll see what happens. This is my first time doing this dish, so when you hear me do the taste test, maybe I'll go, yeah, instead of, good. Although I suspect it'll taste pretty much like spaghetti, with chicken in it, though, instead of meatballs. You can see I'm currently stirring up the spaghetti noodles. Not really doing anything special. I think that they take about, what, 10, 11 minutes to cook? I haven't really even looked at the time, but I think it's been on there about 2 or 3 minutes, so it's 7:01. That's what it says on that clock there. So we're going to go ahead and let it cook a little bit. I'm just kind of looking and gauging how much, how soft I think it is. But I actually think most of the water will evaporate. Ooh, it's leaking out over. So it's boiling really fast because it is a small little frying pan instead of a pot. And food's just ready to go here in just a minute. Wow. Oh, that steam. Can you hear it? I'm actually kind of salivating as I prepare this food because I am kind of really hungry. So, eager to see how it turns out. It's been about 3 minutes or so. You can see it says 7:04 on here. And this stuff is still boiling. I've pretty much been stirring it. And I think the water is going to all evaporate. So, it's actually looking pretty done, the spaghetti itself. I'm going to go ahead and just let the water evaporate. Oh, this steam we're making. Woohoo! So, I've opened up the Prego sauce, which we're going to be throwing in there in a moment. And you know what? I think I'm going to take advantage of the fact that it's got moisture in there and it's steaming up. So what we're going to do is just add this frozen, what is this, zucchini? So let me open that up and see if we can't add the zucchini. I'm simply going to just toss the zucchini in there, still frozen. You can see it's frozen. And we're just going to let it sit in there and let the hot water kind of split it apart. I think it's got zucchini and a little mushroom. So maybe I'll even seal it. And you know what? I think to soften it up a little bit more, we're going to go ahead and toss in our tomatoes. Yeah, doesn't this look like a crazy dish? And indeed it is, because I have no clue what I'm doing. We'll just let this kind of dry up a little bit. Let everything kind of get hot. The idea is to try to get the tomatoes kind of mushy, you know. Let it seal up a little bit. Steam. Mmm. Have you ever seen a dish like this? Me neither. It certainly looks interesting, doesn't it? Alright. Look at that. Stir it up some more. I think the water's mostly evaporated now. And the, what is this stuff? Zucchini? Squash. It's squash, right? This isn't zucchini, this is squash. I think it's squash. We're going to add the other things now. Let's add the chicken. Woohoo! Add all that chicken. Doesn't that look better now? Starting to look like a real dish now. Oh, and you know what? I really like the onions, but I don't have any fresh onions. So we're going to go with our handy dandy. Oh, you know what? I'm going to turn this down because I can see it drying out. I'm going to add our handy dandy chopped onions from Dollar Tree. Let's do that. Tell me that doesn't look good. I guess if you had like oregano and whatnot, you could add that too, because it is kind of semi-Italian. It's like, or if I put soy sauce in there, then we got spaghetti lo mein noodles. But we're gonna go with East meets West, so we're kind of cooking a spaghetti as if it was like a Asian type stir-fry dish. But what we're gonna do at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and add. The water has evaporated, so I'm going to add the sauce. Alright. It's the Prego meat sauce. At this point, it's looking a lot like spaghetti. So we're just going to mix it up. And I'm probably going to turn the heat back on here. Put it back on high right there. And we're gonna let this kind of bake a little bit, I guess. It certainly looks different, doesn't it? Like I said, I've never made this like this before. So, how it looks or tastes remains to be seen. But I can already tell it's gonna be good. Look at that. Chunks of chicken in there, whole tomatoes, baby tomatoes, zucchini, which is finally splitting and falling apart, you know, getting separated, so that, and it's starting to boil up a little bit. Let some of this water evaporate to help the zucchini. Is that zucchini? No, squash. to help it, I'm gonna separate. I'm gonna seal it. And let's let it cook a little bit. It's 7:10, so we've been cooking for about 10 minutes right now. Doesn't that look good? I've been stirring it and kind of splitting up the squash, you know, to separate them because they were like frozen to each other. It's this piece right there. So I'm just kind of trying to separate everything. But I think the food's pretty much done. As I continue to heat it up, it's basically evaporating the water, so the sauce is becoming a little bit thicker. And the tomatoes are becoming softer. So look at this one, it's kind of splitting already. Maybe I'll pop the tomato to get chunks of tomato. There we go. Isn't that cool? Get chunks of tomato with the dish. I don't think you want to eat like a big huge tomato. So I'm just kind of popping it a little bit. I'll tell you this. It sure looks different than anything I've had before. Looks a lot like spaghetti and smells a lot like spaghetti. So it should be a very interesting meal. I think we're pretty much done. So what I'm going to do at this point is just turn off the meat, let it simmer a little bit. Turn off the heat rather, not the meat. Let it simmer and just cook up a little bit more, and we'll prepare it for serving. Now, you might be wondering why I don't call this spaghetti. But I think you have a clue right now. And it's right here in the form of this chopstick. Yeah. So it's pretty much like standard spaghetti. Well, not standard spaghetti, but I'm going to flavor it with a lot of peppers here. Because, you know, I love peppers. I love spicy food. Doesn't that look really good? And then we're going to go ahead and sprinkle a little bit of this Kraft Parmesan. Sprinkle cheese on here. It's grated Parmesan cheese. And there is our dish. Doesn't that look really good? Now, to taste it, we're going to actually use these cheapo chopsticks that you get at the Chinese restaurant. Yeah, this is where the eastern part comes in. And the fact that we, of course, cooked it in on a frying pan instead of a pot. We could have used a wok, which I would, but I don't have a wok handy, so the frying pan works just fine. But for those of you who don't know how to use a chopstick, let me try to give you a quick lesson here. You basically are using this like this. So you kind of hold one and hold it steady. It doesn't move. But the other one, you kind of move it up and down. So the top one, I hold it with my thumb, almost like a pencil almost. And see how the bottom one holds like between these two fingers? I don't know if you can see that. But you kind of use this and like a lever, and you close it in like this, and you have your noodles. Now, I've never seen anyone eat spaghetti with chopsticks, but that's what we're going to do. So we're going to, notice how I do this? I grab it, and I close it, then I bring up the noodles, and let's have a taste test and see what it tastes like. Ready? It's hot. Oh my goodness. It is really good. Of course, it tastes pretty much like spaghetti, but I'm eating it with chopsticks. Until next time, everybody, I hope you're having a great meal. I hope you're staying safe. And I hope this gives you some ideas for just making up your own dish as you go along. Take care. God bless you all. And thank you for tuning in.